Welcome back. Lauren Heistad here, author to the book Homecoming. I had an interesting little moment here because I went on a holiday with my family, enjoyed it immensely, had put a few of my videos on just private, basically wanted to stay in the background and enjoy life as it is, right? Woke up this morning to a very vivid dream of a alternative reality that I wasn't too happy about, and decided to put the videos back on public and jump into the next chapter. Then I get here and it is my chapter 60, Reality Alternatives. So interesting. Okay. Thank you if you're joining me here yet again. And a reminder, if you haven't seen many of my other videos, yes, I know the volume sucks. I know. It's almost like at this point I'm just trying to get through with what I have available to me, and that just happens to be the setup that I have right now. So, get yourself in a quieter surrounding if you want to hear my words, because this is a personal conversation between me and whoever is willing to hear it. Okay? Okay. Here we go. So I became intrigued with alternative realities shortly after my train derailment. Not mine. The experience of the train derailment. Okay. And it was not that I had studied theories on the subject or even spent time contemplating if different versions of our fate could exist. Nope. Alternative realities came into my world the same way any other energetic understanding arrived, through experience. Now, for many months after the train had left its tracks that cold, wintry morning, I consciously, can you tell I still have vacation brain on? Bear with me, because you also know I'm not doing retakes. This is a one-time deal to get through this. Okay? I consciously pursued alternative routes home. In part because maintenance crews were both cleaning up and repairing the tracks, causing an obvious restriction in traffic flow. But more so because I found it hard to drive past the location where, for the first time ever, ever, I saw my life flash before my eyes with the very real possibility of an alternative ending to what had transpired. Fact. Now, eventually, when I did find the courage to drive my usual path home, I always began to cry just before crossing the tracks. At first, I chalked this up to a huge release of emotions, as I gave thanks. Definitely gave thanks for having survived the wreckage. I consciously worked on my suppressed emotions while wholeheartedly expressing reams of gratitude until I felt inner and outer peace for the experience forever etched within my heart and soul. I reviewed. I'll get my head in the game pretty soon, I promise. I reviewed the events with solid awareness. Appreciated the knowing that I had endured the situation by utilizing my inner wisdom and free will to create change. I even continuously gave thanks for the lessons learned and the perspectives gained. Yet still, the tears continued to flow day after day. One afternoon, while on the way home, I asked my guides to explain why I cried at that very same location every single day without exception. I was gently reminded that to see the truth, I must always look past the veil and reveal the underlying energy my soul was reacting towards. Good point. In that moment of clarity, clarity came flashing in as I saw death. Not mine, because I was parked far enough away to avoid the initial impact, but of all the other lives lost that day during the derailment. I also saw that every time I drove past this point along my life's path, I was presented with and reacted towards that second reality. One where the outcome had been much different than what had ultimately been experienced. But remarkably, with my soul still solemnly grieving and reacting to an underlying existence of the alternative reality. Of course, my vision of death did not match up to my experience of survival, but the guidance was clear. Somehow, I was tapping into another version of the same story, one where the derailment caused people to die. The echo of that substitute version somehow stretched beyond the sands of time and clearly affecting my soul. Similarly, I used to jolt awake in the middle of the night with different renderings of a past life decision playing out within my dreamscape. Times when I had clearly utilized my free will and healing ability to change the outcome. Whether it was to help a loved one or to move forward along my own path, in each experience, I was shown alternative endings to that same story. Versions that included tragedy, heartbreak, and a very obvious fork in the road, with my conscious choice affecting the outcome. Now, the degree of clarity to which I could see the alternative consequence was startling. It was startling as I struggled to wake up, to wake myself up, calm my mind, and remember a different option and outcome had in fact endured. Now, questioning this line of alternative realities further, I have gazed beyond the veil to see the ultimate truth. Those alternative realities of specific life experiences upon this earth do not really exist. They don't. They energetically occurred in those moments in time when a larger shift point was possible. However, beyond the energy of those fleeting moments in time, where the path might have resulted differently, there is pure nothingness, an existence that never came to be. A potential outcome? Yes, definitely. A huge fork in the road along an individual and global timeline? For sure. But the truth is, beyond that one fleeting moment, the alternative reality ceased, and the new and actual reality takes hold. From my perspective, alternative realities are like ghost ships in the night. They exist because they are frozen moments in time, energetically showing what could have been, thereby making it not so much an alternative reality, but a reality alternative that never was, never is, nor will ever be. Free will being the deciding factor, changing the course of history and creating new pathways of our individual and collective reality. Thanks be. Thanks be to the individuals out there who continue to use their free will to create positive change. Okay, mastering your soul works. Now, right around the same time that reality alternatives crossed my path, so too did the concept of the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect was coined by a woman who uncovered a shared memory between a large percentage of people's recollections surrounding the death and circumstances of Nelson Mandela's passing. She found many people described and clearly remember having seen Mandela's funeral broadcast publicly in the 1980s after his untimely demise in prison. Now, the memory of this event, however, was deemed a false memory, with his actual death occurring much later and peacefully under his own roof on December 5th, 2013. I was notably shocked and awestruck to learn of the Mandela effect. Not so much because of the perceived differences in collective memories, but primarily because I was one of those people who clearly remembers watching accounts of his early death being broadcast back in the 1980s. Fact. Now, the awareness of the two separate death memories arriving at the same time was pretty jolting. I also became acutely aware my free will to change the life path of those near the derailment was a missing piece to this very large puzzle I had been searching for my entire life. The vision of Mandela's first passing was not a false memory at all. I believe it was based on the trajectory of circumstances and how Mandela's life would have unfolded at that specific point in time. However, many interconnected beings heard, saw, and energetically responded to Mandela's call for help, thereby changing the outcome. Now, further pondering this concept of perceived differences between our individual and collective realities, I came to a startling conclusion. As much as we are able to tap into an account that never happened and perceive it as real, so too are we able to resonate with that forged reality over the actual one, thereby giving more energy and credence to a false memory in time. In fact, the choices of a few to focus on one outcome that never even occurred has the capacity to create different perceptions and pathways to the actual historical reality. which got me thinking. How many past realities have we identified as with a truth or as a truth based on an existing global memory of a few, yet are nothing more than just ghost ships in the night? That's a good question. I'll help you out here. Many of society's current belief systems are based on an alternative reality, an alternative version, to the actual events that genuinely unfolded. There is one thing that has authentically occurred and endured the sands of time, however. Both my teachings and the understanding that we most certainly can and will create a more peaceful reality. Your move. Call back your soul potential. In truth, there will always be forks in the road when our individual and collective realities take one path over another. The best case would be, at minimum, for that path to be a true reflection of the actual events as they unfolded. Not just some construed version of historical truths written as a suggested premise or for authoritative purposes. We cannot ignore our past or make up stories on our preferred or skewed version of that reality. No. The only thing we can do is start from this very moment. From this very moment, and consciously create an authentic one. There are many stories, experiences, and collective memories that we are all attached to. Some of them are legitimate happenings. Others are stories. Wait, I lost my spot. Okay. Some of them are legitimate happenings. Others are stories only told by past generations to keep us individually and collectively small. I did lose my spot. Sorry. A little internal joke on the sentence I screwed up there. Call back your soul potential. And with it, the power to know and discern the truth of our reality. Many times, as a reality is altered, people lose memories or the awareness of how things used to be. That is not because you are dealing with a different version of that soul or reality. It is because an aspect of their soul's potential became detached and oblivious to the change in vibration and truth. Call back aspects of your soul potential in all directions of time as they relate to you and your own personal timeline. As you do, notice how yourself and all those around you become more engaged, present, and aware of this very moment in time. Next, become a conscious co-creator. It is time to realize that our choices affect outcomes beyond ourselves and that those choices change the course of our combined history. Focusing on only your own betterment or working to shepherd the masses will never work. Ever. It is time to truly understand our unified existence. In addition to my own recognition of reality alternatives and my personal crossroads in motion, collectively, we stand within a much larger global one. More importantly, it's time to pick a side. It is. Either we are co-creating from a conscious perspective, or we are co-creating from an unconscious one. But make no mistake, we are most certainly co-creating this reality together. Our actions, choices, and interactions in this world run deep. Deep, deep, deep. When we navigate this world under the delusion that individual choices only hold consequences to our own lives, we minimize the collective potential of our very existence. Start looking at and taking responsibility for your own peace within the larger landscape. Next, review choice points. Take the time. Take the time to review times in your life that have represented larger crossroads. Of course, every day is filled with many decisions and small interactions on a minute-to-minute basis. But I'm talking about the larger scale, milestone moments of change. Those moments where you boldly chose path A instead of path B. Observe, honor, and accept the new pathways that evolved from that very point in time.
The foundation for an evolved learning experience with a strong communicative focus.
Thank you. Interesting. Observe, honor, and accept the ripple these choices had on all others. Next, add to the collective outcome. Don't get me wrong, the world is abundant with vast dimensions, universes, and plethora of possibilities. However, there are not billions of other realities floating around in space with all the better versions of your own SOULworks, encompassing improved scenarios, outcomes, or choice points. The only thing this counterfeit perspective of our reality accomplishes is to ensure we never take responsibility for our individual and collective actions within the existing one. This is it, people. Our reality is co-created in real time, with our soul growth being a summation of all lifetimes of experiences on and off this globe. The choices we make, while embodied in human form, ultimately hold lasting effects on both our individual and our universal SOULworks. There are many times in this world, such as wars, terrorist attacks, slavery, or large-scale pandemics, where tragedy, it's endured because the life choices of a few negatively impacted many. take responsibility and rise above these choice points to add more positive energy to the collective outcome. Huge upheavals in this world are not meant to be. They are most certainly not meant to be. However, they can certainly be used as a catalyst of change to show up. Show up in this world as an effective co-creator. Next, alter your reality. We all share this big expansive world together, but individually, we are still responsible for our own reality. If you're not happy with your current life experiences, work towards an alternative one. Take the time to make new choices, life path decisions, and expanded options to create a different flow within your own world. Don't stay at your individual crossroads too afraid to move forward. Your soul is quite capable of navigating you towards the reality you desire. And lastly, do the work. It takes work and dedication to rise above the status quo. Someday, the vibration of our planet and all that reside within it will be much lighter and simpler to navigate. However, make the commitment to yourself to do the inner and outer soul works required to embody those changes now. Kindness and love are our true nature. Divinity is our birthright. The reality is, at one point in time, we just moved beyond that predominant state of being. Call it back. We have been living within the existing lower vibrational reality alternative for far too long. Amen to that. Thank you for joining me as I slug my way through crossing this road.